Hi guys, today is going to be slightly different to most of the other content that I've done. Today is to raise awareness for people who may be going through or have gone through what I have gone through with losing my late wife, Parul. So in April 2024, my whole world crashed. It started off where Parul was complaining that she suspectedly felt a little lump in her breast, and I remember clearly saying to her, "Don't worry about it, it's too late on a Sunday now, we'll deal with it." In the morning, got up, brushed my teeth, thinking, "Mate, you can't ignore that." So I told her, "Go mate, make an appointment at the doctor's." Went to the doctor's, 10 o'clock, 10:30, I got a phone call. Need to go to the one-stop for the breast cancer, suspected breast cancer. I says, "Don't," I said, "Get the referral letter and we'll go private." Went private, went to see supposedly a breast surgeon who's been in the business for 20 years plus. He took a look, done his examinations, said to Parul, "Got nothing to worry about." However, just to be on the safe side, let's just do a couple of tests. 1 hour later, Parul's come out of the test room. She's crying. "What's wrong?" "Nah, it just hurt a little bit." I says, "But?" The lady was going back to a certain area again and again and again. At that point, I still didn't think nothing of it. I said to Parul, "Don't worry, everything's going to be fine." 48 hours later, I was told that she's got breast cancer with multiple tumours. However, we was told that they could give the relevant treatment, chemotherapy, radiotherapy. I was told that she may lose her hair, may lose not one but two breasts due to a positive BRCA gene, which basically means that it's very likely for the cancer to come back in the other breast if it wasn't removed. So as you can imagine, well, I can't because I'm not a woman, but for any woman that's watching this out there, any mother, any sister, any girlfriend, how hard it must have been for my wife not to only lose her hair, not to lose one, but two breasts. She went through chemo. She done really well with the chemo, even to the point where she would come home, go on the school runs, still think about dinner, still take the kids out, do the activities, to the point she was told she can't drive for 4 weeks. Anyone that knows Parul knows if you tell her she can't do something, she'll definitely want to do it. 2 weeks later, she was in the car driving. In November, we was given the all clear. However, again, as a precautionary, she was told to do radiotherapy to zap her chest wall before she went for reconstruction. Parul started doing the radiotherapy and then started complaining about back pain in December. I remember this clearly actually. It was Christmas Eve. I walked in around about 12 o'clock midnight, just to see her sitting on the floor, wrapping presents for my little kids and my older daughter. Says to me, "I've got back pain." She says, "Yeah, you would have, because you're sitting on the floor at this time of night and you're going through radiotherapy, so obviously you're going to feel the consequences." Parul had a great Christmas. She spent a lot of time with her loved ones, to the point where she was chasing her daughter. There was an egg and spoon race. She was going on like she's going to win £1 million. She was that competitive. Come January, the pains in her back got a little bit more severe. In the interim, she went to a few hospitals. They were suspecting slip disc, trapped nerve, which she then went back to the oncologist who dealt with her breast cancer treatment, who again has been in the business for approximately 41 years. He said, yep, I can see it's a slip disc or a disc bulge. You need physiotherapy. He was that confident. He wrote me a letter to say that. I'm not going to quote what the letter says because I don't have it with me, but it was along the lines of, I can confirm this is not to do with your breast cancer. Now, if somebody has been in the business for 41 years, you're not going to question that. He knows what he's talking about. Went to see a spine specialist because they're saying it was to do with slip disc and so forth, where she had a CT guided injection. That was for 3 days, 4 days. The pain still didn't stop, got worse and worse. Again, why would I question anything? I was told by someone in the business that this is nothing to do with cancer whatsoever. And like I said, I had a letter to prove that. So then she went and had the epidural. But when she had the epidural, I asked, how's the pain? She said, I'm still getting headaches. So we left it, time went on, Parul was still walking, still doing her stuff, but in a lot of pain, to the point where we went to pain management. She was given strong painkillers. But as the days went by, weeks went by, she got weaker and weaker to the point where, bless her, she would be walking and her legs would give way. So that was pretty hard to watch, pretty hard to see my wife the way she was. Was going to the normal hospitals, they were giving her medication. Medication was working for a day, and it'll go back to normal. Then we went to a private neurologist, who was, I believe, in his late 60s, early 70s. Anything about neurology that he didn't know you could put on the back of a stamp, apparently. He done his observations. He was 99.9% sure it was something called Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS. His response was, yeah, Parul should be fine. She needs 5 days of intravenous, of strong antibiotics. She'll be fine. Gave me a letter, says that he's going to call the hospital in London to let them know that we're on our way and they'll be expecting us. Got to the hospital in central London. They had a specialist neurologist unit there. We were waiting for approximately a couple of hours, for which point Parul was in a lot of pain, on morphine and all sorts of other medication, trying to make her comfortable. I then questioned when they were starting the intravenous for this GBS that I've been told it is. The consultant then said, Parul's had an MRI before, hasn't she? I said, yeah, it was done by the oncologist who treated her for breast cancer. He goes, okay. She's never had an MRI which was a part of a contrast. I said, no. Because we just need to do one more test. I said, well, you shouldn't need to because I've just come back from someone who's 99.9% sure and has been in the game for a long time. Also, I've got a letter here confirming that it's potentially nothing else but what we're suspecting. Anyway, took Parul down for an MRI contrast. An hour later, did my world come crashing down. It also went upside down. I had news, well, Parul had news. We was both delivered the worst news possible. Parul had stage 4 in her spine. At that point, everything just went numb. Everything slowed down. I couldn't hear in terms of what people were saying, it was just noise. Didn't know what to do. I really didn't. Thinking, how is this possible? I've got a letter, I've got someone who's been in the business 41 years, someone who's a neurologist, has been in the business 30 plus years, telling me there's nothing to worry about. And then I was delivered the news that my wife has 7 days to live at the age of 41. With a 20-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old daughter, and a 3-year-old son. How is one meant to process that? Parul being Parul, I remember her saying to me, giving me a hug and holding my hand, don't worry, I'm gonna fight this. I'm never ever gonna leave you. I'll do this, we're gonna do it. So, at that stage, spoke to another oncologist in central London who put Parul on some medication to see if they could treat it as a form of chemotherapy. Parul was in the hospital for several weeks, from which her older daughter in the hospital started her journey with her mother. She was with her mum 24/7, every single day. Didn't want to come home, wanted to stay by her mum, quite rightly, to look after her mum, to care for her mum. So I was in the central London hospital for quite a while. Then we had to move Parul to a hospice, just purely to make her comfortable, really. Again, bearing in mind, I was told that Parul only had 7 days to live. She's still here 2 weeks later. Some faith was restored to say she might be right, we might beat this. So as weeks went by, Parul lost her sight, only to find out that the stage 4 has now spread to her brain. Again, Parul said, don't worry, we'll fight this, we'll fight this. 50 days went past, Parul went, and then come the most dreaded day of my life. 6th of May, 2025, 11:25, my wife put on her wings and flew to heaven. You're probably thinking, what is the purpose of this video? The purpose of this video is a few things, actually. First things first, to all the women out there, please do check yourself on a regular basis. If you feel that something's not right, make sure you go and get it checked out. Don't waste time. In these situations, time is not on your side, so you've got to act fast. As for the men out there, same again. Make sure you check yourself. Because believe it or not, us men can get something too. The second message I probably want to put out there as well. Personally, doctors ain't always right. They're not. To have a letter, to have this, to have that, years of experience doesn't mean anything. What I would potentially say is, yeah, read up on the person, but experience doesn't ultimately mean anything. Now, if you ask me my opinion, would my wife still be here if they done an MRI contrast at the beginning, when I was told, oh, it's nothing to do, it's a slip disc? Potentially, maybe not, who knows? But this could potentially save someone else's life. By losing my wife, I've learned a lot about life itself and what not to expect, what to expect. If I was to ever be any of my friends or family, God forbid, was to ever be in this scenario, what I would say to them. In the medical side of things, not necessarily to do with cancer. If there's any other issues, making sure that it's done thoroughly. No corners are cut just because you're down to experience. So yeah, that's what I would say to you guys out there. All I can say is Parul's legacy will live on forever. So take care, guys, and thank you for watching. Parul Rai, my wife, my life, was truly one of a kind. Parul, you always told me I didn't give you a good wedding speech. Well, Chooks, I hope I can do a better job now. I just wish I wasn't given it under these circumstances. From the day I met Parul, she was unforgettable. I remember our first date. We were at a bar. We ordered drinks. Parul saw that I was struggling to hold the drink and walk, so she offered to carry it for me. She barely knew me, but it was already looking out for me. That was the kind of person she was. Kind, thoughtful, judgmental, just pure-hearted and caring. That was the moment I knew she was special, and I fell in love with her right there and then. Parul had the biggest heart anybody could ever have. She always put herself first, actually put herself last, not first, and everyone else first. No task was ever too difficult for her. Even if somebody needed help, she would be the first person to step up. Even if she didn't know how to do it, she'll still try. That's the strength she carried in everything she did, and the strength she showed every single day while she was fighting cancer. Me today, I chose it myself. My wife Parul had many happy memories, but one of them, she always talked about getting a FaceTime call from Anthony Joshua, congratulating her wedding.
Thank you so much. I'm good, thanks. How are you? I'm at work, and I got very happy that my sister-in-law's with you. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. You made my day.
She was over the moon that day, and she'd never stopped talking about it. That moment captured so much of her spirit and joyful excitement, full of life. Parul, you were a phenomenal mother. You were nurturing, loving, fearlessly protective of our kids. You taught them the right from wrong. You were their teacher, their role model, their shield, their sunshine. Making them happy made you happy. Our children were your pride and joy. Astanya, your little bubbles. Kaya, your kuni. And Kian, your ganu. You lived for them, and I promise you, Parul, I'll be the best I possibly can and raise them to the way that you would have wanted. I will give them the love, strength and support you gave them so freely. I will help Bubbles become the lawyer, support Kuni on the path of becoming a CEO, and make sure Ganu knows he can be anything he wants, even if he wants to be a Spider-Man. I'll make sure they live every day being proud of who you are, just like you was proud of all of them. If our daughters grow to be half the woman you were, I'll be the proudest dad and husband in the world. From getting married to raising our children, to sharing every little moment of everyday life, each day with you was a gift. I even miss the little things like nagging you. Actually, again, you nagging me. I used to nag you certain things about putting too much salt into food. But then again, you used to nag me about how much money I used to spend on trainers. And not forgetting your famous chicken curry and your bad boy jerk chicken sauce that only you could make. You gave me everything, Chooks, the best memories, happiest moments of my life. You always talked about how much you miss your mum, dad and brother. I know now you're at peace with them, but your spirit is still with us. Please keep watching over us all, especially our children. And please guide me to be the man you fell in love with and help me to keep making you proud. Parul, you've left a big void in my life that nobody else could ever fill. I will spend every day missing your laughter, your energy, your love, your voice, your presence. But you also left a legacy of love, strength and happiness. And that's something me and our kids will always carry with us forever. It's been the greatest honour of my life to call you my wife. I only wish we had more time. It's a shame you weren't here for life, but you'll always be in my heart forever. I pray that one day, when it's my time, you'll be waiting for me on the other side, with the same smile, with the same heart, and the same dancing feet. Thank you for everything you gave to me. You gave me a beautiful life, and I will always spend the rest of mine trying to make you proud. Until we meet again, my chooks, I love you. Rest easy, Mrs. Rye.